Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. My name is Siwarde SAP, Senior Advisor Economic Policy Affairs at the Netherlands Embassy in Athens. The title of my keynote is Lessons Learned from the Agri-Food Traction Tour 2019 in the Netherlands. It's an important initiative to gather again here in Ceres, a century-old fertile soil on the crossroad in the Balkan region. And that's why it's also great that the Deputy Minister of Bulgaria is here with us today, and to debate how the transformation of the agri-food systems in this part of Europe can be accelerated for increasing trade and investments, for feeding Europe and the world. But what is the backbone of the agribusiness development in my country, the Netherlands? It's called Triple Helix. Triple helix. I say the word again. What does it mean? Triple helix means cooperation between government, private sector, and research institutes. But why? Why? Because cooperation is key to innovation, productive and sustainable agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, my core message today is that economic clustering of different but closely related activities encourage innovation. More specifically, clustering strengthens our attitude regarding innovation. And that's why the Agri-Food Traction Tour visited the Netherlands, to see how this works with their own eyes. Now, firstly, I will describe to you quickly the scope of the visit. Secondly, I will share with you impressions, lessons learned, and follow-up activities. Thirdly, you will hear from participants who were with me on the Agri-Food Traction Tour, who are sitting next to you in the audience. I will give floor to them to make a few statements. And then I will conclude with my view on the future of Dutch and Greek agro-relationships. My PowerPoint presentation, for your information, is just illustrative, and I took myself most of the pictures. So, the scope of the Agri-Food Traction Tour to the Netherlands. This agri-food business visit with a delegation to the Netherlands yielded a lot of happy faces. It is evident that an advanced long-term exchange of knowledge in the field of agri-food technology can strengthen both the Dutch and the Greek economic position in Europe and in the world. So what happened? What did we do? A food industry delegation from Athens, from Thessaloniki and from Budapest traveled to Eindhoven, a city in the Netherlands, a delegation of 20 participants from companies, industry associations, knowledge institutes and organizations like the United Nations FAO. From Greece and Hungary, and we visit the region of North Brabant. But what is the Agri-Food Traction Tour? Let's go there first. The Agri-Food Traction Tour is an innovative and partnership business visit. It's a network and educational exchange program with a country that plays a leading role in the agricultural value chain. It invests strategically in bilateral agri-economic relationships and learns how companies and knowledge institutes develop in consultations with local governments and have a focus on the agri-food value chain for the transformation to agri-food systems. I will not repeat it, but I hope you got the message. It is important because if you don't see, how can you feel and how can you understand if you don't stand in the fields and see the parameters? So the emphasis of the Agri-Food Traction Tour is a multi-year cooperation in the areas of economy, innovation and development with a focus on political, technical and also social issues. It's actually an experience that inspires visiting and receiving partners, I will come back to that later, on what the Dutch people said about the Greek relation, and goes beyond sales contracts and export promotion. The organization is in the hands of GeoRoots Cultural Institute, Chairman Yannis Balakakis. The agenda development for 2019 in the Netherlands took place in collaboration with Geert Willems, Steering Committee for the Agriculture Innovation in Brabant, and a speaker to this forum. I will now move to the impressions, lessons learned, and the follow-up activities. I talked during the visit with most of the participants, and also after the 6 weeks after, I contacted many of them again, because I wanted to understand what actually remained of the visit. And I summarized that in 3 impressions, in 8 lessons learned, and in 3 follow-up activities. Now, I will first, this is the picture I love the most to take. This is real. The girl was there and she was making cheese. The impressions we had. What did the participants say? They say, in the Netherlands, organization is in place. In order to be valid, you need to follow in a few things. What is it that you have to follow? It is, first of all, cultural cooperation between all the partners in the value chain. So academic and business cooperate well, and together with national and regional administration. I repeat, regional administration. And what was impressive for the participants, that there is a clear identity for everyone, but an innovation space for each separate. Very smart. Secondly, friendly business environment, open business attitude. Extrovert, young farmers in charge, willing to share, to learn and make business, good entrepreneurial spirit. Thirdly, the participants said investment in research and development, connection of university research with primary production. R&D is identified in all phases and in every step, from academics, state representatives, to the entrepreneurial spirit of the farmers, a never-ending effort driven by passion. I will give you some tangible examples before I will go to the lessons learned. Just to get a little bit of feeling of what did we see there. Particularly exciting was the smart Dutch innovation, because key is not just, the cutting edge technology, but it is more that in the Netherlands there is a continuous research and search and a tradition for applying new ideas, and in that also new technology, but it's about the new ideas. And some of the farmers we visited, they have standard technology. I mean, because their type of business or their cost of benefit model does not need to allow for investments in precision farming. For example, the dairy farm and the pig farm we visited. Their technology and operations is similar as in Greece. So what's the difference? The difference is that standard technology is embedded into a farm with various activities. It is a farm with activities with city countryside connections and experience and multifunctional agriculture. I will explain. But first I have to tell you that I was impressed, and the participants also, that there were so many young people in age with responsible positions. I will now go to the dairy farm where we met this girl. We were welcomed warmly at a real farm yard by the young owners, a brother and a sister. With only a few acres, they did something very interesting and very simple. Their century-old family farm with about 100 cows and of course 1 bull was upgraded to robot milking technology. They made also a cheese-making facility, they made a shop selling cheese and meat, and they made a very cozy farm kitchen where you can eat, but what's at the same time an educational center. They also made sure that they are at a famous bike route in the Netherlands. They are producing and buying local, they have a strong role in the local community, and they are just, a super attractive hotspot. 16,000 bikers come to this farm yearly. So what's the secret? The secret is this would have never been possible without the role of the Dutch state and the regional administration. Key is that they truly support the appliance of technology and innovation in product and process, both livestock and plant, and not only. The Dutch state and the regional administrations are serious stakeholders in dialogue and cooperation for making and adjusting relevant laws. Now the super exception in all our visits, a second example. It was the visit to the potato farmer Van den Borne. This farmer has been doing precision farming for over 15 years. He studied computer science, he has a good financial harvest results from collecting data with drones. and spending most of his time on data analytics. At this point, I would like to refer also to the presentation of Peter Oudemans yesterday, who explained all this technology, so I'm not saying it again. This is how the farmer does effective his farm decision-making, together with only 2 colleagues. Of course, he is continuously under pressure, like every other potato farmer. He explained, however, to us that how a few cents per kilo is an important aspect for their business model. Because of climate changes, margins of the farmers are getting thinner and are at risk. He proved to us that precision farming in potato business can support in reducing this risk. The days we visited him, he was a very happy man. He signed a project and a contract with McDonald's. This clicks up the whole potato sector in the Netherlands. So you better smile at the drone, I would say. However, I must also make at this point, I would like to refer to the comment of Philip Papadopoulos yesterday, that we have to be watchful in deciding if and when we adopt digital technologies. So what's the secret here? The secret is simple. It's just a culture of cooperating all together. And the critical success factor is, and listen carefully, the critical success factor is the cooperation, is the attitude of the producer organizations. And I think it's fantastic that Geert Willems is here for a second time in order to tell you how this works in the Netherlands, because only with the producer organization in cooperation with the farmer, the regional administration and businesses in the region, and giving responsibility to young people in key and elderly, they stay close and they consult. These were the impressions learned. I will now go to the lessons learned. There are 8 of them. I will go a little bit like in a music sheet. I will go a little bit more allegro. And I will take the next style. I will tell you what was the lessons learned, like the participant said. And by each lesson learned, I will tell you what they felt as a Greek delegation. So you feel what they felt. And it is nothing scientifically. It is nothing difficult. But it is very interesting. And it is possible. So actually it's a little bit like a topistevo and a credo. So that's how it will sound. I will also say it like that. So when I use the we, the word we, I'm representing the participant of the agri-food traction tour. I'm not representing my king in the Netherlands. So there we go. 8 lessons learned. There are 4 very important. Focus on primary production. We have the land, we have the people, we have the climate, we have so many incoming tourism. Focus on the role of the regional administration, which is a critical success factor. We can establish policies, draft laws, set political and operating framework, and ensure enforcement both on national and on regional level and in harmonization with EU law. Third, establish and maintain a good producer organization and do more with them. We know the key to their success is cooperation with regional authorities. Give responsibilities to young farmers. We have an urgent role to educate the young farmers, entrepreneurs. These were the most 4 important. I will also share with you the other 4. 5, speak to and with companies. Go on business visits, see how they do, see what they need. An attitude to cooperate while remaining competitive for innovation and fair consumer prices. And the participant said we need to cultivate in Greece better our culture of better cooperation. 6, transform farmers to entrepreneurial farmers with skill in technologies. Good and well-worked out laws with enforcement will help to change the attitude. And the participant said we can foster a new way of thinking. Connect university research with primary production. And the participant said yes, we must connect R&D with administration and farmers. 8, support farmers in supplementary activities for risk diversity. For example, a shop, a restaurant. Make sure that the license are possible to do something like I told you about the dairy farm. It is nothing scientifically, it is nothing difficult. And that is also the way forward to agritourism. And like how the panel was yesterday, I was really listening to it. And I think there should be, I don't know for the conference organizer, but I think we can have easily a conference only on that theme. And what did the participants say about support farmers? They said, we can adopt the complete models we saw like the dairy farm. We have the same passion in Greece, and we are smart as well. So these were the lessons learned, and I now move up to the follow-up activities. Three of them. Develop learning programs, for example, an agri-food traction tour on a specific theme to a country. Send farmers to work, for example, in the Netherlands for a period of time. Get Dutch farmers to teach Greek farmers to faster innovate, cooperate, and adopt new technology. Second, Dutch businesses to reconnect to Greek farmers for contract farming, processing, and packaging. Such a contract can include education, cultivation, growing, cutting. For your information, this does already happen. In my role at the embassy, I very often do also mediation on this, because some of the Dutch farm contractors with the Greek farmers doesn't always work out so easily, because they have a kind of type of product prototype they want, and as soon as the prices in the local market are higher, the Greek farmer very often sells it on the local market. And then the Dutch farmer who has a contract has not the broccoli and has to buy it on the spot market in order to make sure that his contract with the Russian supermarket is in place. And that's how we not can do business with each other. 3, share experiences. Online discussion group of those who participated to the business trip to continue exchange, learning, and creating innovation ideas. I conclude with this now, and I will now give the floor to a few of the participants, if they would like to. No? All right. That is really a pity. I disagree also. I will do the following. My speech, I'll have it anyway to the conference organized, so you can read all the examples in there. And I will then take you now to the following, the conclusion. The delegation was extremely satisfied with the knowledge and the contacts gained in the Netherlands. With extensive cooperation, the Greek people can use this infrastructure to further develop their agricultural value chain in a sustainable way. Participants said we loved it and we had a fantastic time. But there are also many opportunities for Dutch companies to rebuild economic relationships with Greek companies and work together with a traditional, known EU agricultural partner whose knowledge and experience in this sector is a good level. Actually, it is all about the transition of farming knowledge to knowledge farmers. My view on the future of Dutch-Greek agro-relations, and then I will end, so it's only 2-3 minutes now. In the light of the latest global developments and European views on their position in the world, my view is that extensive cooperation between EU partners, especially on the cultivation and the production of food, is more than ever necessary step forward in achieving a strong and independent Europe. The Netherlands sees Greece as a traditional EU partner. But in addition to an economic agenda, we must also realize there is always a political and a development agenda, which plays a role also in the use and the selection of instruments. Due to the financial crisis, attention to Greece had weakened, because the Greek market was of limited economic importance. I think that an advanced long-term exchange of knowledge and experience in the field of agri-food technology can strengthen the Dutch and Greek economic position in Europe. My core message is to accelerate in Greece and the wider region on cooperation between various partners and on economic clustering. That will change the attitude regarding innovation. In this way, Greece and the region can become and remain a more attractive and preferred partner within Europe. I believe the agri-food innovation and partnership business visits, like we did, is the way forward. This type of business experience has a catalytic role in the acceleration of the transformation of the agri-food system. More specifically, the business visits show to Dutch people that the knowledge and skills of the Greek participants are at a very good level and that making partnerships can be possible. Participation to the visit confirmed for me also the positive prospect for contract farming between Dutch and Greek companies. My report and everything will be available to the conference organizer. I have discussed it also with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture in the Netherlands, and I have sent requests for more support in the sense of people, resources and budget, and I hope it will be agreed in order for the embassy to contribute and even more focus on agri-entrepreneurship in your country. Thank you very much for listening to me, and moderator, please take over.